include your Twitter and blog URLs or your Google profile. Now, I don't have those, the Facebook and the Twitter, I don't do that, but a lot of you do. And the other caution that I'm going to say to you is that you need to be careful what you put out there, because employers also go out to those sites and they look to see what kind of information is out there on you to figure out if you're going to be a good fit for their work environment. So be very cautious of what you put out on the internet, and then put that information on your resume as well, so that it can be known that you are a good, productive citizen, you do a lot of volunteerism, and you have information out there that interests employers. You wouldn't want them to see something that may turn you away for a particular position. You write references available upon request at the bottom. Again, it's a waste of valuable space on your resume. References should always be available, and my recommendation is that you put your references on a separate sheet of paper, list the name, the contact information, and how you know that person. Is it a professional reference? Is it a personal reference? And you keep that. You don't pass that on to an employer, okay? You don't give an employer a reference until an employer says to you that they have an interest in you and they want to verify your references. So be careful what you do with your reference page. It should always be in your portfolio. You should always have it available, but you don't have to send it to an employer when you make the application itself. You list every job you've ever had in your life in chronological order. You don't want to do that. We want to show that you have a consistent, steady work history, but we also want to show the employer that you have the experience and the skills for the position for which you are applying. So again, it goes back to format, choosing the right format. Make sure that you highlight what your strengths are, what your experience is as it relates to the position for which you are applying. And then round out your resume with additional information. Once you've included the work experience, the education and skills, you're off to a good start, but you can't take you must take time also to take your resume to the next level by adding additional information that supports and reinforces your qualifications. Honors and awards. If you have received honors and awards from an employer, from a social group, from a political group, or whatever the case may be, put that in your resume as well. You can include it. It will show that you're involved in the community, that you've made certain contributions, and that you've been recognized for that. Publications. That may not be the case for all of us, but if you've had some career-related articles or books or blog posts, white papers, and other types of publications, they're also good things to put in your resume. Again, it shows that you are busy, accomplishing things, and achieving things. Testimonials. This was interesting for me, but it adds credibility and validates the accomplishments, personal and your traits and areas of expertise are highlighted in the resume section. And you can include little tidbits from performance appraisals, or if somebody has sent you an email, not somebody, but a supervisor or in a managerial position has sent you an email commending you on a great job that you've done on a project. You can include tidbits of that, like that, in your resume. Speaking engagements. Employers across many industries value employees who are good verbal communicators. All of us know the importance of verbal communication. And so if you've done those types of speaking engagements, you may also include that in your resume as well. Volunteerism. I heard in the back a few minutes ago someone who said that they've gotten a degree but they don't have any experience, and so how do you show to an employer that although you don't have any work experience for a particular position, perhaps you volunteered in that field? Put that in your resume as well. Now, we don't need a whole page of your volunteer activities, but if you have done some volunteer work in the field or in the type of position for which you are interested, include that in your resume. It does have some value. Affiliations, are you affiliated with organizations? Like I'm a member of the National Association of Workforce Development Professionals. Organization memberships that are affiliated with the type of work you're interested in, the type of work you're doing or have done are very important to list those as well. Hobbies, they can be a little bit tricky because sometimes they can be conflicting to what you're being asked to do on the job, or it may appear that your hobbies, that your interest in your hobbies is more important than what you're going to be doing at work. So you might want to think about that a little bit. If it's related, perhaps, but if it's not, leave it out. When is it okay for an objective statement? We had the question about career changes. Career changers and entry-level workers, you probably would benefit from an objective statement. Again, tailor it to be specific to the position for which you are applying, and get input from someone, a career counselor with KentuckianaWorks or at the Louisville Urban League and many other resources, online resources, to help you to formulate that objective statement. This page talks about sample objectives. I'm really not going to go through those because they can be as, again, it depends on what type of a position you're looking for. Are you new into the workforce? Are you changing careers? How do you design a profound objective statement? Tips for writing your own objective statement. Again, most of the information I got for this presentation came from monster.com. I encourage you to go there. They have some pretty current information on how to put together a top-notch resume. And then 6 steps, very briefly, to create a winning career summary. Conduct research on your ideal job. Assess your credentials for that job. Relay the value you bring to the table. Remember, the employer wants to see that you have what they're looking for, and they want to see that early on. Add a headline on a resume, hooks your readers, and compels them to continue reading. It has to attract my attention for me to want to continue to read it. Focus on your goal. Proofread, refine, and perfect. I'm going to say that again. Proofread, refine, and reflect. No typos, no misspellings, no grammatical errors. The resources that I used for this were www.monster.com. There's also great information at www.kix.com. Kix does have a table over here. I think you're going to learn later on this afternoon some exciting new information. It's relatively new, and it's chock full of information that is 2010 information. KentuckianaWorks One-Stop Career Centers. Michael Gritton talked to you about where those locations are. They also have a table over there. And the Louisville Urban League. We have hundreds of people each year do resumes. We do interviewing workshops. We do job search strategies. I would encourage you to get someone involved in helping you to get your resume up to par, because it is your resume that is going to get you in the door. I don't know if we have any questions about, or even if we have time for questions. No, I was told no time. One? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I just came from the resume review workshop, and I was told that my resume is impressive and intimidating because of being an intellectual type A kid that's never slowed down until I've become unemployed. So could you possibly give suggestions to someone who has had a very strong work career history and professional history to not appear on paper so intimidating?
I'm going to be available offline, so I will talk to you about that. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. And again, the table is over there.